go through the presentation. It will give the committee a clear picture of the history of challenges of passport and where we are today. The committee may wish to know that last week we were at FEC to present a memo, but it was stepped down by the president. And we received a resolution to that effect with a prayer from the House that the memo be stepped down. And the president had done just that. I titled my paper, Investigation on the Proposed Domestication of Nigerian International Passports. I wish to present my compliments and respectfully acknowledge the receipt of your letter dated 4th May 2023, inviting me to appear before your esteemed committee on the above subject matter. In furtherance of our collective efforts at finding lasting solution to the peculiar challenges that have bedeviled the Nigerian e-passport project over the years. And for convenience of analysis, the essence of this brief is to highlight relevant issues that may be helpful to the Ad-Hoc committee fact-finding mission. Historical background of e-passports. The Nigerian Security Printing Minting Company, NSPMC, PLC, had been the traditional printers of travel documents for Ministry of Interior because it's a policy matter, the issue of passports. NIS, what it does is just to personalize the booklets. In August 1998, the machine-readable passport, otherwise known as MRP, was introduced with the aim of solving security problems of our national passport. The MRP was observed not to achieve the full purpose of its introduction, as it became bedeviled with numerous problems ranging from multiple acquisition due to lack of interconnectivity of the issuing centers, passport number duplication to difference on the security features, resulting in rejecting of some of our MRP passport by some countries. These anomalies were traced to NSPMC's outsourcing the production of our booklets. Thus, printing and minting were not producing the passport themselves. They outsourced the printing to other companies to do. Then, 1998. Following the ECOWAS head of state adoption of Bamako Declaration recommending the issuance of harmonized ECOWAS passport in 2000, in 2023, the then President Olusegun Obasanjo directed the study of Malaysian electronic passport technology and assessing its suitability and possible adoption in the Nigerian harmonized passport, and in strict compliance with International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO standard and regulation on travel documents. In the same year, 2003, the Federal Executive Council by conclusion EC 2003, 14 of 7 May 2003, approved the award of contract in favor of Mrs. Irish Smart Technologies Limited, ISTL, for the delivery and installation of 39 passport issuing machines, 52 foreign and 42 foreign missions, wide area networking, central processing system, 5.5 million chips and 4.5 million laminates, and 8 autogates. Council further approved that the electronic passport should be based on self-financing. Government does not invest in passport process at all. It's self-financing. The council approval, however, the council approval did not, however, include the production of passport booklet and the embedding of the chip into the back cover. In this regard, 5 companies known to be experienced in the manufacturing of passport booklets were selected and invited to tender for the production of passport booklets and embedding of chips. The 5 companies are: 1, Nigerian Security Printing and Minting Company; Francis Charles Author Security, Irish Smart Technology; Yesoke and Deviant F2E Dubai; and Sagem SA of France. Did not respond to the invitation of the tender. At the conclusion of the tenders, Irish Smart Technology Limited was adjudged to be the most responsive in terms of capability and price to produce passport booklet. However, the then president gave a provision to effect that the memorandum of award of contract should be submitted to FEC, subject to NSPMC being allowed to participate. That was a caveat given. Therefore, based on the then president directive, negotiation was opened by the then Minister of Internal Affairs, now Interior, between Messrs. Irish Smart Technologies and Nigerian Security Printing and Minting Company, PLC. The meeting carried on until 2006, when the then Minister, Ambassador Oluyemi Adeneji, CON, forwarded a memo to the then President on the deadlock with respect to NSPMC unwillingness to match ISTL's price of 690.8 kobo. It is pertinent to point out that NSPMC had insisted on a final price of 1,285.96 kobo to produce a booklet against Irish Smart Technology for 690.8 kobo. Following the above memo, the former president approved that the memo be forwarded to Federal Executive Council, and a contract was approved by Council by concluding EC 206-44 meeting, concluding 11 of the award of the contract for the construction of 3 million e-passport booklets, chips, and substrates to Mrs. Irish Smart Technology at a unit cost of 698 kobo per booklet. You may wish to further note that in addition to the 3 million booklets awarded to Irish Smart Technology, other subsequent approvals were given by Federal Executive Council, FEC, to produce 6 million booklets, 10 million booklets, giving a total of 19 million passport booklets from inception to 2015. The 2015 contract is still subsisting, as Mrs. ISTL had, at January 2023, supplied a total of 6,893,935 out of the 10 million passport booklets prescribed by the contract, leaving a balance of 3,106,65 booklets remaining. Deficit of 3,106,65 booklets. The remaining 3.1 million. Yes, the remaining booklets to complete the contracts. The contract of 10 million.
Contractual period.
No, the last contract given was 10 million. The last contract given from 2015 to date, 10 million. To date, 10 million was given for Irish Smart Technology to produce 10 million booklets. Yes, so far they produced about 7 million. Remaining outstanding of 3.1. Yes, out of which 7 million were produced. About 7 million. No, not only. 6,893,935 out of the 10 million. Do I repeat the figure again?
Go ahead.
Okay. Remaining a balance of 3,106,065 outstanding. 106,065. The outstanding booklet remaining for the company to complete the supply. Existing equipment, technology, and custody of database. NIS has acquired and paid for most of the personalized equipment on e-passport in 42 local passport offices in Nigeria, 44 foreign missions, and created front offices for only acquisition in State House, National Assembly, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ali Mosho in Lagos, Zaria in Kaduna State, Ilesha and Hosum, Oyo Town, Oyo State, and Daura, Katsina State, respectively.
How many stations, sir?
42 local stations. The equipment supplied by Irish based on the contract.
42.
Yes, locally. For foreign missions, and created additional 42 foreign missions. May I continue? And then the service created front offices in view of challenges faced by Nigerians in acquiring passports. So front offices were created, one in National Assembly, the Villa Foreign Affairs Ministry, and then Ali Mosho in Lagos, Zaria in Kaduna State, Ilesha in Osun State, Oyo in Oyo State, Daura in Katsina State, as well as front offices in Pakistan, Romania, and Lebanon. Where just front office, they don't produce the booklet, it's only the front office. They only acquire, they produce elsewhere. So these were created and equipment were supplied by Irish Smart Technology. Most of this equipment have been paid for and totally belong to the federal government of Nigeria. The equipment were paid for by the federal government out of the passport proceeds. There is also the database, which though belong to service, is still is in the custody of Irish Smart Technology. The database is with Irish Smart Technology. The database, all the passport database, Irish Smart Technology. They are hosting the database.
Here in Nigeria or where?
No, here in Nigeria, sir. This is typical of all PV contracts signed between the Ministry of Interior and the service providers. However, it should be noted that the service has trained its staff on data management and has, through Mr. President, gradually approved and completed NIS technology building, which was eventually commissioned on 4th March 2021. The reason of the building is to warehouse all our data outside. Contact all our service providers to warehouse their data in our premises. That's why the President approved the construction of technology building in NIS headquarters. So the integration has commenced and in the process. Further to the above, it is worth mentioning that the NIS at its annual conference in 2017 at Abeokuta met and brainstormed with experts and above a new design of enhanced e-passport booklet with more advanced security features and polycarbonate data page. This culminated in the Mr. President launching of booklet on 15 January 2019. The booklet has been affirmed to have no security challenge and at the moment have been rolled out at several issuing centers, including service headquarters Ikoyi, Alausa, Festa, Kano, Port Harcourt, Benin, Enugu, Gwagwalada, as well as some foreign missions, especially UK, USA, and Canada. The new enhanced passports. Insistent scarcity of passport booklets. It may be expedient to equally highlight that all the contracts regarding the passport system, architecture, and production were signed by the Minister of Interior. I want to mention this again. The government may wish to know that all the contracts regarding passport system, architecture, and production were signed by the Minister of Interior, not by NIS. With NIS being only an implementing agency of the contract. The issue of booklet scarcity, which surfaced in 2016, can be blamed on the following challenges. One, inability of ISTL to set up a passport production factory in Nigeria. Well, when the contract was signed, there was a caveat that ISTL should set up a factory in Nigeria to produce booklets. I have document to submit to this committee.
Have they not produced?
Two, production of Nigerian e-passport booklets are heavily dependent on foreign exchange. Out of the 7 components that make up passport booklets are sold in foreign markets, while booklet assemblage and production are done in Malaysia. So completely outside, dependent solely on foreign exchange. 3, scarce foreign exchange. Due to dwindling government foreign revenue earnings, mainly because of continued fall in value of Naira, coupled with the inability of service to access dollar component from the contract agreements. The committee may wish to know that all our foreign revenue earnings that comes in dollar components goes direct to JP Morgan account. We don't access it. We sell passport outside, we don't get cover. So the local revenue we utilize to fund the foreign operations. The dollar component paid by passport applicant abroad is submitted directly into JP Morgan account, and no share is apportioned to service the contract. Payment of booklet, for booklets, maintenance, and other contractual obligations are done within the local revenue we have, after remitting certain percentage to government. 4, foreign exchange policy regulation of the government, which does not guarantee steady access to forex by solution providers, exacerbated by the seeming reluctance or refusal by central bank to grant ISTL access to foreign exchange for importation of passport booklets. We remit foreign exchange from our earnings, and we cannot access it to buy the same booklets that we make money out of it. That has been a very big challenge for NIS and, by extension, Irish Smart Technologies. Since the beginning of the Scarcity in 2016, the NIS and the Ministry of Interior have made concerted effort through the presidency, subsequently through the Office of the Vice President under the auspices of the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, to completely resolve the crisis. Such effort includes CBN intervention proposal for special allocation of foreign exchange and opening of letter of credit for the city supply of e-passport booklets. 2, approve passport reforms to address dwindling revenue from the e-passport project and to ensure steady availability of passport booklets. Despite the stability earlier achieved based on CBN's initial intervention, the booklet scarcity had intermittently resurfaced due to difficulties with opening of letter of credit with CBN by NIS technical partner ISTL. Presidential Directive on Domestication of Production of Passport Booklets. The administrative team may wish to inform that on 24 June 2019, the General Chief of Staff to the President copied a letter with the subject printing of international passport to the Ministry of Interior and NIS. A copy of it is attached as Annex 1. The letter, which was addressed to the Governor of CBN, informed that the production and personalization of Nigerian passport and related documentation shall be the sole responsibility of NSPMC, and all existing memoranda of understanding, contract agreements should not be renewed, while periodic update be forwarded to Mr. President for consideration. A letter was received by the President directing the Minister of Interior, directing CBN to take over the domestication of passports, that all other agreement MOUs signed should not be renewed. Of course, it wasn't renewed. It has not been renewed up to now. I want to assure the committee. It has not been renewed because Irish are yet to complete the 10 million booklet assigned to them based on the agreement, based on the last agreement signed. They are yet to conclude, so no agreement has been signed with them. To date, based on the directive with the President. It hasn't been flouted at all. The 10 million given in 2015. Yes, sir. The NIS applied the COS letter conveying Mr. President directive on domestication and production of passport booklets, indicated that while the NIS is inclined to welcoming any arrangement that will solve the apparent perennial problem of scarcity of passport booklets with attendant unwarranted negative consequences on the corporate image of service and Nigeria at large, the NIS strongly recommended that a meeting of relevant stakeholders, including premises of justice, be convened to deliberate on the modalities for a viable and smooth transition plan, taking into cognizance the operational and legal implication that may arise from the compliance with the directive. The following correspondences are herewith attached for ease of reference. All the correspondences between NIS and other stakeholders are attached on the report, which I will submit to the committee. The correspondence are as follows. The committee may wish to note. NIS replied to a COS letter conveying presidential directive. NIS memo requesting the Minister of Interior to seek Mr. President intervention in addressing challenges of shortage of passport booklets. NIS letter to SGF forwarding 2 and 3 above. 4, legal opinion by Minister of Justice drawing the attention of CBN to the need to refrain from taking any action that might undermine the interests of the federal government. The Ad-Hoc committee may equally wish to refer to the following documents exchanged during the several stakeholders' engagement on the subject matter. NSPMC letter requesting NIS to forward technical details of all the categories of passport. And Mr. 6, NIS letter forwarding samples of various passport booklet to NSPMC. 3, NSPMC letter to Minister of Interior, CBN, and NIS reiterating the resolution reached during series of stakeholders meetings, including that of NSPMC should begin processing of importation of passport production machines to give effect to the presidential directive, requiring SMPMC to commence domestication of e-passport in Nigeria as Annex 8. 6, ISTL letter to Minister of Interior indicating that a proposed MOU between ISTL and NSPMC for partnership towards giving effect to the presidential directive has been stalled. There was a deadlock on the MOU between printing and Irish smart technologies on the way forward regarding the domestication. Current effort by the Minister of Interior towards domestication and production of e-passport booklets. In October 2022, An outline business case on establishment of e-passport production facility on PPP was sent to ICRC for review. The OBC was done by NIS. The ICRC approved the same and directed the constitution of a project steering committee headed by the Minister of Interior and project delivery team headed by the Permanent Secretary of Interior, with membership drawn from the Minister of Interior, ICRC, and NIS. The entire process was driven by the Minister of Interior, and the report of the Technical Committee on Financial Evaluation bids submitted through selective method indicated that Mrs. HID Global Consortium emerged as the most responsible bidder in the process. NIS position. In the course of various engagements with relevant stakeholders to ensure seamless compliance with the subsisting presidential directive on domestication and production of passport booklets, the NIS has constantly conversed that the NIS PMC need to be supported to possess the requisite technical and financial capacity to undertake domestication and production of passport booklet. And any change in the status quo should be taken gradually to preclude avoidable backlash and needless legal tussle and operational hitches. The gradual takeover approach that the service recommends will involve government considering the following in handling the overproduction of e-passport booklet to NSPMC, geared towards the eventual end of passport booklet scarcity in Nigeria. 1. NIS has acquired and paid for most of the e-passport equipment in 44 foreign missions for 2 local offices in Nigeria and front offices for capturing of biometrics only. However, there is an outstanding payment for equipment supply for the e-enhanced launch in 2019. So there is a big liability on the part of NIS that we're here to settle Irish Smart Technologies.
How much?
I don't have the actual figures, sir, currently. But I can get the details to the committee.
See, I think this is an investigative area.
Yes, sir.
We are supposed to take you on oath.
Yes, sir.
Before even reading this
Report. Yes, sir.
But anything that you present to the committee must be an evidence-based on what is actually transpired. So this is, I think this is the position of the committee itself. So this information, I think, should be provided to the committee.
Yes, sir. I will provide the committee, sir. ISL here. I will provide details to the committee. Yes, sir. The NIS did not only pay for ISTL for equipment, but also paid for installation. They are national treasures, worth millions of US dollars, which the transition should not neglect. We cannot afford to stop the e-passport database, which has been in place since 2007, even for an hour. It has been functioning 24/7, the database. If NSPMC want to take over both technology and production, a well-organized transition is required. And the database will still be owned and controlled by NIS, because data is key, and located in Service Secretariat premises in view of the completion of Command and Control Center, that is the technology building, approved by FEC. The legal power to personalize passport is that of NIS, pursuant to the provision of Immigration Act 2015. There is a need to provide at least 3 million booklets annually to NIS to keep the transition running. In view of the fact that e-passport project is self-financing, the NIS only pays after sales. That's what we do. They supply and we pay them after we sell the booklets. That's the understanding we have with Irish Smart Technologies. CBN can provide the seed money to the service and can be deducted directly from our account. This will provide stability and availability of booklet during the transition. It is equally instructive to note that there must be a handshake between the booklet and the e-passport technology already provided by Irish Smart Technologies. Hence, interoperability between embedded chips and the e-passport booklet and other devices and equipment must exist within the network for seamless operation for the process not to be interrupted. While it is pertinent to put all the above factors into consideration when transiting to domestication booklet production in Nigeria, it is equally worthy of note that the contract with Irish Smart Technologies, which has been operational since 2007, can be generally adjudged as successful, except for the occasional booklet scarcity issue, especially during the COVID-19 period, which we all know there was completely shut down globally. Hence the need for a seamless exit plan that will not be prejudicial to the interests of all parties concerned. Sir, I'm also rounding up. Yeah.
You're talking about exit plan.
Yes.
I want to understand, or the committee wants to understand, the exit plan, is it for Irish or for what, the exit plan?
No, it's for Irish.
Okay.
They are already engaged.
Okay.
There's a subsisting contract. So we
Okay.
can't push them away
Yeah.
to avoid any backlash. Because they
Yeah.
will go to court.
Yeah.
Contract has been signed. So we have to do a plan of exit.
So you want to do a plan for
We are
them
making-
to exit?
We are making a recommendation to the committee.
Okay.
There should be a plan for an exit for them. They've been our partners for a long time. So it's not good to push them away, even though the president has given directive.
So CG, if I may get you right, you feel the exit plan should work concurrently with the presidential directives
Yes, sir.
to be implemented?
To be implemented, yes, sir.
I understand.
Without prejudice to the subsisting presidential directive on domestication and production of passport booklets, it should be considered and always kept in mind that all the equipment for personalization of passport are owned, mostly paid, as I've mentioned earlier, for and manned by NIS personnel. In this regard, the aspect of personalization is fully domesticated. It is my sincere hope that the House of Representatives Ad-Hoc Committee to investigate the domestication and processing of Nigerian passports will find the above information useful with a view to finding a way forward on the matter in the overall interests of the nation.
Instagram.